Okay, so I'm still having questions about this machine. So I didn't thread it because I'm going to go through it once more. So this is a spool pin, and it comes with a shorter and it comes with a longer one. So you can put bobbins on here or you can put thread. I'm just going to use a bobbin for now. Again, I'm going to go through how to thread it and what each function is and why it's important. So with the bobbin here, as you can see, the thread goes out to the left. Okay, turn it here, raise this up just a little bit. Okay, so the thread goes out to the left, as you can see. Okay, now what a thread guide is. I'm sorry, I need something to point with. So what a thread guide is, which is this thread guide 1 in terms of this machine. So as you read in the beginning, a thread guide is this loop or eye, whichever you want to call it, and it guides the thread through the machine. Okay, so this is thread guide 1, and so the thread goes from here through thread guide 1. It goes over the tension, which we're going to talk about, thread guide 2, through the thread take up lever, and then thread guide 3 and on down. But I want you to understand that the thread guides are very important. It's what guides the thread through the machine. Okay, so let's move on. Before I move on to tension, let's talk about clockwise and counterclockwise. I have mentioned it before. Counterclockwise is to your left. Clockwise is to your right. Counterclockwise is the opposite direction to the movement of the hands of the clock, which is to your left. Clockwise is the same direction, which goes to the right. So now we're going to talk about tension. Okay, so let's talk about tension. So as you just read, the tension on most sewing machines, it's performed by applying the pressure to one side of the spring that presses onto the tension disc. Okay, so in this case, I don't know, you probably can't see the spring through here, but if you wind this all the way out, it comes out. And you see, as I'm winding, you see the spring. The spring is right here. And it's connected to the tension disc. I don't know if you can see in there. This is considered the tension disc. The spring and the button. So, or the dial. So you know that this is very, very cheaply made. Okay. So in terms of the tension on this machine, this is plus, this is minus. So when I was saying that knowing counterclockwise and clockwise is important, it is. So you know, if you want to tighten the tension, or if it's too tight, rather, you're going to turn it counterclockwise, which is to the left. Okay? You're going to lessen the tension. See the arrow going this way with the minus here? You're going to lessen the tension. As if you want to loosen the tension. Okay? Now what I've counted on some, and what I've told some, you see the ridges that's in the button for the dial? You could number these, like put 1 at the plus, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you know the higher the number, the looser the tension. So if you have a Sharpie here at the plus, again, you could mark 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That way it'll give you kind of a guide. So it's too tight, so we're going to turn counterclockwise, which is to the left. Now, too loose, you want to turn clockwise, which is to the right. Okay? And you don't want it too tight. But it goes to this point. You'll hear the clicking, and the dial, as far as it can turn, should be in this position. Turning it back. It's going to keep turn and turn out. So that's why I was mentioning to turn it straight up, and from the plus, number this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So counterclockwise is too tight, turning it to the left. Clockwise is too loose, we're turning it to the right. So you have to figure that this machine is very, very cheaply made in terms of tension. So you're not going to get an absolute tension on this particular machine. So what you have to do is, and that's pretty much on any machine, when you're threading, just to make sure that your presser foot is all the way up, and it loosens the spring. And as you're threading your machine, it loosens like the spring between the disc. Let me see if I can get like better. Okay, so it loosens the spring between the disc. You have it down, it tightens it, and it doesn't give you a good guide. Okay, so bring your presser foot up as you're threading. I always remember that tip, especially on this machine, because the tension is not going to grab as efficient as you would like because it's cheaply made. So we've already talked about the thread going to the left. We've already talked about the thread guides. This is thread guide 1. And we're going to make sure that our presser foot is up. Okay. And then we're going to just lay the thread over. You're not going to do anything else, just lay it over. Okay. It's going to go through thread guide 2. I'm not in a good angle here. Let's scoop this back. Okay, over the tension into thread guide 2. And remember that your presser foot is up. Okay, it's going to go through. This is the thread take-up lever, which we're going to talk about, and then into thread guide 3. Okay, and this is as far as I'm going to go for right now. Okay, again, we're going to tug and to be sure that it's pulling. Okay, you see that to the left. Through thread guide 1, up through the tension. Okay, thread guide 2, take up lever, and thread guide 3. Okay, and stop at this point. But my mistake here was to have my machine locked. You always have to make sure your machine is on lock, and that should have been the first thing that I mentioned. Okay, so that was my error. Okay, I'm going to stop at this point. That's pretty much all I can tell you about tension. Is to make sure that your presser foot is up. That way it will spread the spring. You know, it would open the disc to loosen the spring, so it can give you like a good flow. Okay, because you have to remember that when the tension works, it applies pressure to one side of the spring. Okay, that presses on to the tension disc. So in other words, it sandwiches it to give you a good guide. Okay, that's the tension. Remember, this particular machine, plus minus. Okay.